Hi there, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Tuesday's Talk with Grada. Hope that you're recovering from the Christmas period. And today I'm so excited to tell you something that I discovered during my research, that the most productive part of the human life is between age 60 and 70. And next week I'm going to turn 62. And you know, the traditional voices or the voices that you hear in your head is like, oh, you're over the hill and all the rest. But you're really only as old as you feel you are in your body. And if you keep your body in prime state, your most productive years can be between 60 and 70. And apparently the second most productive era of the human life is between 70 and 80. It's quite unbelievable, isn't it? It really blows your mind. And this was done by a very, very extensive study in the USA. I will put it in the article for you to read, so you can do some more research if you like. And then the third most productive age group for humans is between 50 and 60. So what does that mean for you and me? That actually, I feel like that means we've been lied to about so many things, and this has been another lie, that we've been encouraged to retire, and we, all the ads and everything that you see in television and many of the things that you read, and even in the doctor's surgery, you treat it like a senior citizen. You get your seniors ticket and whatever, you get your seniors discount, and it causes us to shrink, when actually the universe or your higher self, your real self, wants you to expand during your 60s and 70s. That's a time of maximum expansion. Productivity, of course, you can swap that out for happiness or for success, for growth, enjoyment, and all the good things in life. They come with productivity. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Grada Robertson. I'm the co-founder of the Purple House Wellness Center, a wellness center that's been known for excellence, and it's been operating now for nearly 25 years. And I've also written several books. Here are 2 books, and there's another one, quite thick actually, but they're a good read. And so literally the 3 books are a trilogy, the story of my life, and it's a worthwhile read because I've had a very full life, full of, I guess you could say, full of drama and trauma, and my story really helps you to overcome any setback that you might experience and come back a better version. And this is what your 60s, 70s and 80s, and probably even further down the line, it might be 90s and 100s, are going to be all about. So how can you step into the next era of your life with confidence? Or if you're listening to me now and you're only in your 30s and 40s, the message is a little bit different. I talk to my kids. And I've recently hung out with my kids a lot. So Peter and I have 6 children between 30 and age 42, and lots of grandchildren and their partners as well. And of course, we see how incredibly busy they are. Look, honestly, there is hardly a moment, especially when you're a mom, to catch your breath, and like all the days just turn into a blur and so on. And it's actually hard for. And then on top of that, you're led to believe that you have to make the most of this age group, because you're led to believe this is as good as it's going to get. But I'm here to tell you that life gets better with every decade. And that's something that I already experienced, because in my 30s I felt much more settled than in my 20s, and in my 40s I felt more settled again, even though I got hit by a truck when I was 43, which really cut me down. That you can compare that to being a tree that I got chopped down by a chainsaw. Right? I had to basically regrow a healthy body, and that really took care of the rest of my 40s. The 50s are a time when the dust settles for many women, and the 50s can be very traumatic as well, because as a woman, the children leave the nest. that is painful, and then often your own parents' health starts to decline. So that as a woman, it's very difficult actually to achieve the life of your dreams, because you're always multitasking. It doesn't matter what age you are, and pulled in every direction. And so when I got hit by the truck, that's what my books are about. I was 43, and that was a big turning point in my life. I was already working as a healer, so I had experienced how to heal my clients' bodies, how to help them heal, and then I had to literally practice all of that to make a comeback, even to stay alive for the first week, because I had so much brokenness inside my body that nobody could really operate to do anything. Like literally for a whole week, I was just a breath away from death. But luckily, I connect with the energy flow in the body. You can call it the immune system, or you can call it your life force, or call it the subconscious mind, or your higher self, or whatever you like to call it. So when I touch my clients' bodies, I can feel where the energy is blocked. I can also feel that from a distance. And I, of course, can feel that in my own body as well. So I just use my hand and go like that. So right now I feel a lot of energy in my heart, because I'm sharing my own story with you to inspire you, by the way. The 43, I probably had to be hit by a truck, because my attention was always pulled out like a helicopter mom and a business owner and everything else, all the other roles I was playing. My attention was always outside my body. And after 43, I had to learn to bring my attention back into my body for me to fulfill the role that I have now, right? So there's always some part of you that wants to up level, that wants you to feel more fulfilled and have greater happiness and have more inner peace and have more self-love, more capacity to hold love and to hold your own light and to just feel really contented, and even for success to flow into your life. Everything is really an inner job. The most successful people in the world, even people that are CEOs of big companies, they spend 80% of their day doing their inner work and 20% working on the company, right? And so the rest of the population does it the opposite way. Like if people are lucky, they might not even spend. If people are lucky, they might give themselves half an hour to tune in or to do meditation or to ground themselves. And all the rest is just taking up with activity. So I had to learn to go the other way and to dive really deep into my own being, into the inner world, to find the resources that were there to heal my body first. Then I had a couple of years with severe mental illness, and I had to also do the same thing again. And that was even harder to heal and nourish my mind. And in the meantime, Pete and I had 2 businesses, sometimes 3 businesses. We also renovated houses, and plus I have 6 children of various ages, and grandchildren were born as well. My deepest pain in all of my busy life was really to do with my little grandson. So we've got 15 grandchildren, and one of my little grandsons was born with what's called Nomet's disease. And that is really the rarest, probably the rarest disease in the world. I tried to Google it, but it's even so rare that it doesn't come up as the rarest disease, but it's actually a genetic condition. It's created by genetic mutation, and there are only 100 known cases in the world. So it's so rare that it doesn't even get mentioned by Google. So that was a really big challenge for me. So I'm just sharing this with you because I know what it's like as a woman who wants to grow, a woman who wants to create a good life for yourself and for everyone else around you. It's like a Herculean task. It doesn't matter how much effort you put in. It's still there have been so many times in my life where I just felt like it took everything that I had just to hang in there, let alone create the life of my dreams. But eventually I got there anyway. And then the promise is that when you hit your 60s and your 70s and further down the line, these are going to be the best years of your life. And this promise is now more than a promise. It's actually scientifically proven by a large study that was done. So I'm here to tell you to invest in yourself so that your life literally gets better as well. So getting back to my little grandson, we didn't know what was wrong with him. It was already evident when he was born that something wasn't right with him. And really only 1.5 years ago was Elijah, it was discovered what his condition was, and it was only purely through a miracle that my daughter ran into the right pediatrician who knew what he was looking at, but nobody else did, because there was one other boy in Melbourne who had exactly the same as Elijah, and there is a medication for it. So Elijah has to inject himself with this specific medication that turns off the gene, and so now he can have a good life for the rest of his life. But Elijah was at the cusp of like getting, well, I really almost don't want to say it, but I knew that if we didn't find a solution for his severe health problems soon, that he wouldn't be alive for long. So as you can imagine, the worst heartbreak for moms is losing your child or having a sick child, and the same for grandmothers. So I lived with that till only 2 years ago. So Elijah's 14 now. So that was 12 years of my life that every day I lived with the pain. I didn't know what was wrong with my grandchild, except that he was always very, very sick. And as a family, we all lived with that, by the way. We all felt that it was always like the elephant in the room, because Elijah was always ill. And it's so good to see that he is better now, getting a lot better. So at age 12, he only weighed 25 kilos when he went to high school, and now he weighs 40 kilos, and he can run, he can do absolutely everything. So that's been the biggest miracle in my life. So just to get back to miracles, miracles is something that you should never stop asking for. Like, I asked for a miracle for Elijah every day of his life virtually. I asked for a miracle when I got hit by a truck. Before then, my mom had a hunchback, so she always had really bad health as well. So my whole life, if I want to share something, the key thing that I want to share with you is that I came into the world, I was aware that my mom was always in a lot of pain because she had a deformed body. Then when she died in 2004, and I was really close to her, and it was like very traumatic for me because I was a healer and I couldn't help her. And then I had 1.5 years, then I got hit by a truck myself. And then 2 years after that, Elijah was born. So pretty much my whole life for 60 years has been overshadowed by trauma, the trauma of severe physical pain and watching people suffer. And probably I already knew always that my role in this world is to be a healer. That was just a given. Sometimes healers have those kind of lives where pain is just unavoidable. It's a constant companion. And again, though, if you look at me, I have a really, really wonderful life now. So if you're in pain at the moment, or you need a breakthrough, or you don't have any clarity, the problem with pain and trauma is that it makes it really difficult for you to have clarity. Because when you're in pain, everything shrinks, like your brain literally shrinks, your nervous system goes into contraction. It's hard to see your way out. That's definitely the time that you need help. And the same goes for business. So in the meantime, Peter and I, we've had businesses. The Purple House, of course, is the remaining business. There are different times when, well, many times that we've had to seek help for the business as well, because the same thing happens. The business is its own organism. So Peter and I receive help and coaching from business mentors as well. And so over the years, my focus was on healing trauma for many, many years, decades actually. And that's still the case, of course, what I feel most passionate about. But once people recover from trauma, they automatically become more wealth conscious. So people become health conscious and wealth conscious, right? That is like a normal evolution of the human spirit. Once we're out of trauma, we want to create a better life for ourselves. And that includes our wealth as well. That includes freedom, like freedom from pain and freedom from money pain. So I also have programs, and I help people when they come to me to create a good life, to free up their money flow, because everything is an inner job, an inner work. That's what it all depends on. So, and then when you get to your 50s, you start to reap the results of all your hard work, right? Because we can now connect to our inner wisdom. Everything becomes easier, especially when you have a growth mindset. For people who have a fixed mindset, so they're people who just always want to live in their comfort zone and they don't want to change anything, the older you get, the more painful life becomes. That's true. But if you have a growth mindset and you see life as an adventure and the universe is your best buddy, and you want to grow and become more creative and live an inspired life, and you've decided that you want to be happy no matter what, and your own best friend, then your life definitely becomes more exciting and productive in many ways, and you can be an inspiration to your children and your community and so on. And the world today really needs that, what I call conscious eldership, that you're living with a consciousness that supports you to have a great life and that supports your community. So today, I'm sharing this. This is like a big talk because I'm so excited that studies have really shown the same thing, that the older you get, the better and more productive, more healthy, more wealthy, potentially, you can be. All your potentials that have been dormant your whole life, they awaken between your 60s and your 70s. And even financially speaking, people who have made a lot of big money, they made it after they turned 50, because it's like all the hard work you've done has just been a portal to reach this point in your life now that you can be super productive. So I'm here to support you with all of that, by the way. So if you seek help with anything, I'm really your one-stop shop, even if it's to do with children and all the rest. So what did I want to say? The last thing I wanted to share with you that's really helpful for you for this year, for the year 2024, I always encourage all my clients and students to choose a word for the year. And the 2024 is here now. So it's a really good time to meditate on this a little bit and do some journaling and just choose one word for this year. And what happens is, a word has its own energy, right? So some of my clients have chosen the word joy. Let's just take joy for example, because they haven't felt very joyful for a number of years, or maybe they're feeling numbed out, or they've experienced heartbreak. And when I questioned them, they decided, or their higher self said, I want to have more joy, or I want to increase the capacity to receive joy and feel joy in the year 2024. But it can be a different word. It can be it can be self-care, it can be discipline. It doesn't even have to be like a super exciting word. It needs to be something that's going to stabilize your growth, and that's going to allow you to be super productive as you age, right? Another stepping stone on your path. So my word for the year 2024 already dropped into me a while ago, dropped into me 3 months ago, and it's consistency. So Consistency sounds boring, like part of me thought like, oh, surely not. But consistency, I can see how much I need that, because I'm a sort of a person that goes all in, like boots in, you know, I jump in the deep end and then I have to swim like crazy. Whereas it's better for me to just slow down a little bit and just put in small steps and have consistent effort. I'm one of those people that can't follow a recipe when I cook. Like, I see the first few ingredients, I might get all the ingredients together, and then suddenly I want to add more ingredients and change it up a bit. That's right. So I like to change things up all the time. And that is not always good for me either, right? It's not good for everyone, because then you can't create steadiness, consistent systems. You can't reproduce success. If you've created success, it's always like kind of winging it. So that's not good for my nervous system. So the universe said for me, my word needed to be consistency. So what happens when you find your word? All the forces and the energies inside your body and outside your body are going to support you to strengthen this wish that you have. It's going to be like support you in many, many ways. So my word for the year just gone was recognition, because I felt like there were many things that I wasn't seeing. I always have like little questions in my mind and maybe solutions to problems. So sometimes I just know I'm not seeing something here, and that's recognizing, right? So I asked the universe to help me recognize things. And then also, funnily enough, I didn't expect this at all, but I also got recognition for my books, because like my books received bestseller status on Amazon. So that was a bonus that I didn't expect. And the year before, my higher self chose the word acknowledgement, which is very close to recognition, but it's a bit different again. And so for that whole year, acknowledgement was a big thing. And I just want you to know, by the way, that acknowledging is a big part of healing. So before the body can let go of a deep trauma, it has to know that you have acknowledged that it's suffered a lot of pain, and there has to be an element of deep acknowledgement. In fact, 50% of healing, in my opinion, boils down to acknowledgement, right? You have to acknowledge that some damage was done. Like, let's say if you suffered from child abuse and you're an adult now, that pain is you're never going to heal till you've acknowledged some damage was done at the hands of whoever, right? And it's not about the perpetrators, it's about you allowing yourself to feel the pain and to process the trauma. And that's a big part of acknowledging. And then the other 50% is receiving the healing. So these are all stepping stones that have helped me to be where I am today. So after all of that, I'm now in a really, really good place. But I know how hard it is for women in particular to create the life of their dreams, or to even just have results that they want. A result can be that you want your kids to get on with each other. You don't want the sibling rivalry or fighting and that sort of thing all the time. Of course, with 6 kids, that was a big part of my life. So when people bring their children in for healing, we can work with that sibling rivalry, because it's often to do with ancestral trauma that is being mirrored to each other, and I clear that ancestral trauma out, and the kids can live together peaceably, like it brings out the best. So in today's world, we have really everything at our fingertips to have a wonderful life. The older we get, the better it gets, the more richer it gets, the more productive and more alive we feel. And that's really my wish for you for the year 2024. That's why I joined on board today, to inspire you, to invest in yourself. Like, the best is yet to come. The best is still always to come. Especially when you put yourself first. Everyone needs to put themselves first, and I'm talking in a very healthy way. So like self-care, looking after your body, having the right mindset, working through your trauma, And then also putting things into your wish list, like do you desire work and what is your word. The smallest thing you can do right now is coming up with a word for the year 2024, whether it can be like abundance or energy, less worry, but that's not really a good word. So then you can put something like carefree. So it has to be a positive thing, right? Something that's really going to support you. Harmony, if you want less tension, you could use the word harmony, peace and harmony, wonderful health. And then the universe is literally going to come around and embrace that idea and support you from all angles and open doors for you that are completely unexpected. And the energy is going to flow to support you in that, so that you can, the universe is invested in you. It wants you to have your best life. And you also can think of the universe as the bank of benevolence or the bank of unlimited credit. So hope you enjoyed this little talk. Just take some time out today with a little journaling pad and just write some things down. Like, you can also ask yourself, what are some things that are not working in my life right now, and what do I want instead? And then you look at what you want instead, and then you find a common theme and you create a word around it. If you need help, I'm here to help you. So reach out by email or do come book in for a session with me. And thanks for being in my community. Hope you have a really, really wonderful start to the new year. And yeah, consistency is it for me this year. So watch out, watch out everyone, because I'm going to show up to myself with consistency. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Big love from me. Bye.